I don't know if you know that Joe was the reason that, and if you ask Spike, he'll tell you, Joe was the reason that Spike had the block party.
Really?
This office was responsible for that because he couldn't get the mayor said no, absolutely not.
Absolutely wasn't that.
We shut it down. We had to go a back doorway. And not only that, that's why now on the 24th we have the Michael Jackson tribute that's always in Prospect Park. Is right downstairs. We're gonna take up this whole area.
I'm getting ready to let them know right now the music we hear is because of the Friday night block party.
Yep, the Friday night films and things. That's Joe. So and you know what he got to go on? The tour.
Oh yeah, you got the Welcome to My Bed-Stuy tour.
Yeah, but Welcome to My Bed-Stuy tour, because what we understood was that the first thing white folks do.
No. Write this stuff down. It's on this email. Please.
First thing that white folks do is they find a way to monetize, whether it's your misery or your success. They're gonna find a way to monetize it. So if it's gunshots going off, they're gonna monetize that. If it's culture and art going on, they're gonna monetize that. So we said, hold on. Ain't nobody gonna have no tours. Like the double-decker bus will be the second thing that comes through here. So we put together our own tour. But as a council person, I can't do that. That's a conflict of interest. But nobody else was doing it. So I said, Joe, go put this tour company together and you got to go on the tour. The tour is, I love Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights, and the tour is eye-opening to me.
Merchandise.
But the best thing about the tour,
Derek, that's yours? This yours?
Oh, yeah.
the best thing about the tour is that it's owned by us.
Yes.
It's a sister that's from the neighborhood, has her license. She's a licensed tour guide. She speaks 3 different languages.
Oh man.
She conducts the tour. She owns the tour and she conducts the tour. So in putting the tour together, we made sure that we had somebody that looked like us, that was from this neighborhood, who respected the neighborhood.
Hold it, brother. Hold it. We got it.
I don't know if I can say that again.
No. You don't have to say it again.
Yeah.
The most important thing is, it's just saying.
The tour is owned by us. It's a sister from the neighborhood. Named is Christian Singleton. She grew up right here in the neighborhood, so she respects the neighborhood. She understands the neighborhood. And the tour is owned by us, it's developed by us, and it's ran by us. And that was one of the main things when we decided to put a tour together, that the tour would reflect exactly what we wanted it to reflect. And the meaning of it would come from somebody who really loved the neighborhood and didn't just show up here. So she has like close to 50 years in the neighborhood.
5328.
She has close to 50 years in the neighborhood, so that's her love for Bedford-Stuyvesant. And she speaks about 3 different languages. So she caters to all different types of people, races and colors. So
that was the important part of this, was to protect our culture. When is the next tour?
The tour starts, it officially starts, you can go on Groupons and go on the Christian tours. It starts on the 24th of this month. It officially kicks off. So this is an official business.
And so can you go look in my top drawer? Let me show them the first piece of merchandise that I was able to purchase that I'm happy about. Is the I Love Bed-Stuy t-shirts.
Wow, this is wow.
So they're doing t-shirts, mugs, snow globes. They got the flyest snow globes. The snow globes have, if you come out of Tompkins, they got Tompkins houses in the snow globe. Marcy, Sumner, Roosevelt, all of the developments, Restoration, Concord Baptist Church, Cornerstone Baptist Church, those are all in snow globes, so you can purchase. So what does that do? It spurs the economy, because now businesses are able to purchase their merchandise at discounted rates and sell it. So this shirt, though,
I'm still you in the family with the shirt on.
Yeah, but this shirt, I don't know if you know, the first march for Eric Gardner, we took 50 people from Bed-Stuy to Staten Island to march when everybody wasn't doing that and it wasn't popular. And we had on our I Love Bed-Stuy shirts, and on the back it said, "Rest in peace, Eric Gardner." And so when we showed up from Bed-Stuy with this, it was funny because when we walked in the park where they were having a press conference, everybody started going, "Oh man, I'm from Tompkins. I lived on Madison." So you would have thought you was in Brooklyn. And even the family, his sister lives on Fulton Street.
Yeah.
So yeah, people don't know Eric Garner's connection to Bedford-Stuyvesant. So I like to say that everything in this world comes through Bedford-Stuyvesant. Bedford-Stuyvesant is the central location, especially as it relates to people of color. But that was an example of how it happened. So these shirts go out, and all of the local establishments are able to sell the shirts, and they have their information on the back. So you'll see I Love Bed-Stuy, and you may see Peach's Hot House on the back. You may see Applebee's on the back. And we're hoping that people will collect these, like these are collector items. Like when you go eat, like if you go to certain places in the city and in the state, they'll have signifying that you've been there.
Write this down. Are you trying to create economy within itself inside Bed-Stuy?
That's my job.
Write that down.
Wait, are you trying to
Create an economy.
That's my
in
job.
Bed-Stuy.
Without question. Without question. We have to learn. The man said it. We got to learn to do for ourselves.
Yes.
How do you do for yourself? That's why I told you. I left my vacation early to come back to deal with the Eric Garner situation, but also to deal with the situation with the young man in Ferguson. But we weren't going to do that, Norman. We were going to do this and let other advocates fight that fight. We were going to fight an economic fight. We had decided as a community that we were going to build an infrastructure that allowed us to hire, sell, do things for ourselves.
Okay.
Right? So here's the thing, Norm, we're right in this huge new economy, which is tourism and hospitality.
Right here in Bed-Stuy.
Right here in Bed-Stuy. So you know that we have some of the most lucrative vacation rentals.
Yes.
Problem with it is people are coming in, sharing in the vacation rentals, but not spending one dime in the district. We said we wouldn't let that happen.
You're creating an economy.
We're creating an economy where we looked at, this year, I took time and went to the National Tourism Convention. Okay. That was held in Manhattan. So they had everybody, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, all of these tourists. And I went there because I wanted to see best practices. I wanted to see what they were doing. They're sustaining entire countries off of hospitality and tourism. And here it is, we sit. Everybody wants what's here. Everybody want to come to where Big and Jay-Z and Little Kim and all of these famous artists from around the world. So if you walk the streets of Bed-Stuy, you may walk into somebody and they don't even speak your language today.
Right now, on your block.
Right now, today, on your block. And one of the things I learned when I lived abroad, because I had the pleasure to live in Israel, Turkey, France, Spain, and Colombia, do sports. And when I would go to those countries, I kept some money in this pocket, and I kept some money in this pocket. And the money in this pocket, because I knew that I was required to purchase items that were representative of the culture that I was in.
Yes.
We sit not able to instill that. These people who travel around the world expect that. They expect merchandise to be readily accessible to them to represent where they are.
Yes.
We don't have it for them. We don't have one gift shop in Bed-Stuy. Not one. Not one gift shop where a tourist who's now here, I don't care what you say, like it, lump it, there are tourists by the hundreds and by the thousands who are now populating Bedford-Stuyvesant because this is the hottest place to be.
Yes. Who was
and
that?
We have nothing.
Who was that actor that tried Uma Thurman's?
Uma Thurman's brother we just read about couldn't afford
to live in Bed-Stuy.
Lost a bidding war for a house in Bed-Stuy. So this is the hottest real estate market.
And now you're saying you want an economy.
Not one. We are developing right now as we speak an economy. I showed you items, we talked about items to capitalize on this burgeoning industry, right? You got to get ahead of a burgeoning industry.
Okay.
This burgeoning industry is, you know, the Barclays presented an opportunity for some. You know, it was a problem for some people.
Yes.
Eminent Domain,
They've gotten over it real quickly.
They've gotten over it real quickly because it's now become a way to be a part of a burgeoning economy.
Yes.
So there's people coming to see the Nets play, and there's people coming to hear Barbra Streisand sing.
Yes, indeed.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so what happens to us, who's one district over? we're in this economy and in the landscape of even the Barclays Center, we sit in the proverbial catbird seat because no one wants to live next door to Barclays.
No.
They want to live four train stops away.
That's us.
They want to live in walking
Crown Heights
distance.
on one side, bed-stuy on the other. The best of both worlds.
So why aren't we preparing ourselves to be a part of an economy that's growing on top of us? Right? So what I don't want to have next year is this conversation with you, Norman, where you're telling me that there are all of these new retail outfits that popped up that are now selling merchandise that's representative of Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights to new tourists. That you saw while you were coming out of Restoration, the double-decker bus passed through Fulton Street, and you felt like you were in an exhibition because people were looking at you and pointing at you. We want to make sure. And I've had this conversation locally and globally. I spoke to Carlos Osora, who is the chair of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And I said, Carlos, I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm the chair of small business. I'm watching what downtown Brooklyn is preparing to do to capitalize the tourist dollar.
Yes.
Love you for it. But let me tell you something. People want authenticity. They want to go over in Flatbush and get that Caribbean flavor.
Without a doubt.
They want to come over to Bed-Stuy and be a part of such a rich African American culture that has produced everything from the greatest rap artists to some of the greatest jazz musicians to some of the greatest artists on canvas to some of the greatest writers to some of the greatest, people love Stephanie Mills, know that she comes from Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Yeah.
People love, all of these great artists, and they want to participate. They love your culture. But we have nothing. Right now, today, when you leave this building, there's not one shop along any commercial thoroughfare that you can find in Bedford-Stuyvesant or in Crown Heights that offers one item that's reflective of the culture that's here. That's not gentrification's fault.
Okay.
That's not another ethnicity's fault. We have to participate in our own ingenuity.
So now, you're expecting to have this stuff taking place because the tour will be when?
The tour begins late September?
Early September.
Early September.
Early September.
The official tour, but right now it's an official tour, so don't.
So I
Let me tell your viewers, don't expect to go and see a ghetto tour.
Without a
This
doubt.
is a well-organized tour by a licensed tour guide who happens to be a daughter of Bedford-Stuyvesant and Crown Heights, and that's the beauty of it. Watching our best and our brightest go out and hone their crafts and bring it back home.
Bring it back home.
So this ain't the ghetto tour.
So Rob is getting ready to make Bed-Stuy economy take this to a whole new level.
That is my responsibility as somebody who's sought leadership and who's absolutely attained leadership, is to lead us out of a tough economy through solid strategies to build some type of wealth within this district. Right, so we can't rely on social services.
Probably so many things
Tell
happen.
them about the hospital.
So and you've been with me in the struggle to save Interfaith Hospital.
Yes, I have.
So Interfaith Hospital is seemingly saved. It will never have the same complexion and makeup that it once had before, but all healthcare is changing. What we were able to do is say, hey, if you want to exist in our district, you're going to take every piece of art off the walls of your hospital, and you're going to line those walls with the art of Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights artists. They loved it, ate it up. We're going to have a red carpet event in the fall, black tie, where you come in and our local artists who are the most talented in the country.
Without a doubt.
They're respected around the nation, who will be able to display their art. I am so blessed to have Joseph Grant as the ambassador to arts and culture, who was able to make that arrangement. So if you go in to get your medical needs addressed, you'll be able to identify with an artist that comes from
right here.
your very area. So this is full circle. We mentioned full circle earlier.
Culturally speaking, I mean, Bob, it's so many things because we still got to get back to your committee, your chair, small business. But now,
But this is about small business.
without a doubt,
Tell them about the comedy show. Tell them about the jazz night.
My card is full.
I know.
Oh, okay.
We've had the pleasure of being part of a revitalization of the Bedford-Stuyvesant community.
well, I hear the music, Bob.
You can hear the music.
is downstairs playing. It's
It's
not.
Friday night in Bed-Stuy.
Yes.
there is beauty in Friday night in Bed-Stuy.
Tell them what you're doing for the kids.
But yeah, let me just, on Wednesdays, we have a comedy showcase here. Again, it ain't a ghetto comedy showcase. This is a showcase that was happening out at Linden Movie Theater, and where we have top comedians coming in and performing in the Billie Holiday Theater, which is one of our iconic venues that we have begun to revitalize through comedy and through jazz. The Weeksville Heritage Society, which is not only one of the most beautiful architectural buildings in the city of New York, it has all of the bells and whistles. So it's LEED Gold, which means we're using geothermal heating and air in the building. So it's one of the top buildings in the city of New York. That's in Bedford-Stuyvesant. And there we're hosting the most beautiful jazz through the Brooklyn Jazz Consortium as a partner. So
In Billie Holiday.
no, this is in the Weeksville Heritage Society.
Okay.
You have to get to the Weeksville Heritage Society building. Never seen anything like it, I promise you.
That's part of our tour?
That's part of our tour. That's part of the tour. So what we've done, we brought Spike and his people came over to do the block party. We said, Spike, well, we'll do the block party. No problem. Easy peasy. But we need you to see Restoration Plaza. We need you to see the Billie Holiday Theater. We need you to see the Weeksville Heritage Society. We need you to see Von King Cultural Center.
Yes.
Once we showed all of that, we already knew what was going to happen. If you have any vision, if you have any passion or compassion for the arts, you can see the development and the revitalization of it here in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I'm so excited about the economic basis from which we start that I want to focus my attention on making sure that we build capacity through our arts and culture institutions, through our small businesses, to be able to monetize one of the most beautiful cultures in the world. The African American culture and its experience is one of the most beautiful things in the world. We spend a lot of time focusing though on the negative byproduct of hundreds of years of slavery and the negative byproduct of hundreds of years of economic depression and economic suppression, which exists and it still exists today. What we see is a manifestation of that through escalated gun violence among our youth. But we said we're going to focus on building capacity for our young people to earn through working in your cultural institutions or working in your small businesses. And you know this, Norman, there were even in the worst of times in the United States of America, there were communities of people of color that flourished economically.
Without a doubt.
It's well documented,
Yes.
some of it Hollywood documented, and some of it actually documented. Why can't we replicate that here? Tell me why. We have everything we need.
Well, Rob, you don't seem like you sleep. That's the first thing.
No, I'm not
You
sleeping.
seem too excited so excited that you don't look like you sleep. We're going to come back on a brief message. We're going to get back on track because actually what people might not realize is this was the stuff we were just talking on the side and we just had to make it part of the show. We'll be right back.